Hi everyone, this past Sunday was a monumental day in the life of our church, and we as a staff team are so excited for what God is doing in our community through North City Church. Here's a message from Pastor Jason and some of our team for what you can expect this Sunday.
Hey everybody, so in response to Pledge Sunday this past weekend, I want to start off with a great big thank you. Thank you for showing so much faith, so much courage, so much unity. Watching our church family stand shoulder to shoulder, worshiping together, honoring the Lord, stepping out in obedience and sacrifice was a pretty amazing moment. The second thing is, wow, it was actually miraculous. What an incredible miracle God did. I know that our predetermined human goal that we set of 4 million, we didn't quite reach that in our first pass. But what I've come to discover this week is as I've been talking with our district leadership and those from our denomination, is that our moment this past weekend was actually a miracle. What I've learned, and I want to bring you some perspective and help you understand a little bit more of what we're trying to achieve, is that we've had other churches in our region who they have tried something similar, but they took a 3-year path, not just 2 to 3 months, but a 3-year path. They invited an organization that they had to spend some money to help them get there. And in that 3-year journey, when they came to the end, they raised less than half of what we did on our Pledge Sunday. On top of all of that, our 3-year pledge through the end of 2028 sits at no less than 4.55 million. When I shared that with our leaders, they were absolutely amazed. They couldn't believe it, and they each called it a miracle. And so I want to let you know, church, that we may have set a goal for ourselves that very honestly was very audacious and was very large. And what we thought the miracle would be up here, other people are looking at what's happened through our church and saying it's already a miracle. So I want to say thank you for responding in the way you did, and I want to let you know that God is not done working. There are people who are still pledging and still asking ways that they can participate and partner with us in our Homebase Initiative, even this week since Pledge Sunday. So don't be discouraged. We are well on our way. As we have taken time to speak to our district and denominational leaders, and then as a leadership team come together early this week to discern what we believe God is doing, we have come down to these few points that I think are important for me to share with you. The first is, the door to our Homebase Initiative is not closed. In fact, not only is it not closed, it hasn't even squeaked shut even a little bit. It remains wide open. So I want to encourage you, don't be discouraged. Have courage. The Lord is working. We are not in a bad position. I know that the target and the goal we set for ourselves was very high and extremely audacious. And we set a target that was, quite frankly and honestly, that we shared with you, way beyond what we could likely do in the natural. But when you look at the results, the truth is, as we've crunched the numbers, we are not in a bad position. We are actually in a very strong position. And we have committed throughout this entire journey to move forward in steps. All of the steps leading up to Pledge Sunday. Pledge Sunday was not the destination. Pledge Sunday was another step. And now this week leads us into more steps of follow-up and what's next and what is still yet to be, what might be, what could be, what is it that the Lord is doing. And additionally, what we've discovered is that all parties, the vendor, the purchaser, which would be us, our denomination, our district, and the lending agencies that we're navigating with, they remain confident of our path. Interestingly, though, we have received some feedback from a number of individuals this week, and here's some of the things I'd like to share with you. Outside of all of the miraculous comments and text messages and emails and phone calls of people really excited about what we started on Sunday, is 3 core things. Number 1, there are people who still want to pledge and still want to participate. They just didn't know how. Maybe they weren't here on Sunday. They're struggling with how to get there. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we had people say, Pastor, if I'm honest, I didn't fully grasp and understand the pledge card. I couldn't figure it all out. I didn't know what it all meant. And that led to the third piece of feedback information, which is, Pastor, is there any way that someone could help us? We would like some assistance in how to make this happen. We would value some clarification on how we can participate. So because of the number of people who've responded in either any one of those 3 feedback points or anything more than that, I would like to ask for those of you who are interested in having some clarity or some assistance that we do have some confidential options just for you. And if you're interested, you can respond to this email with simply the word help. And the moment you send that to us, we will then connect you with a confidential source that can help you just navigate some of the conversational pieces about what your continued pledge might look like or what your additional pledge might look like. And if that isn't suitable for you, you can simply contact one of our pastoral team members and they will make sure to point you in the right direction. So where do we sit right now? I'd like to paint for you a bit of an encouraging reality that I have had to get to as we've looked through the numbers, which we're going to share with you this coming Sunday on September 28th. And in a moment, we're going to share with you what's next and what that's going to look like. So after this past Sunday, where are we actually at? Well, let me help you understand what I've discovered is a very encouraging current reality for us as North City Church. Our church experienced something that what I believe was a supernatural moment from God this past Sunday on Pledge Sunday. I believe it was something different, and I believe that God shifted something in the spirit. He spoke to people's hearts. He's doing something. He's growing us together. He is challenging us to grow in our trust in Him, in our faith, and in our expression as a unified church collective body. I do believe there was a breakthrough. The challenge for me is I can't actually define it just yet. I believe there was a breakthrough, or at least the beginning of a breakthrough. And while we didn't necessarily hit our goal, which I had already stated was pretty audacious, we did have what I'm learning is an incredibly miraculous response from you, our church family. And while we like goals as humans, we like to set goals, the truth is God is much more interested in the growth of our heart. We like to set goals. God is more involved and more invested and interested in what we become on our way to those goals, because He wants our heart to be shaped. And I do believe that's part of the breakthrough that began this past Sunday. And the real truth, the real true reality of where we sit is this. The miracle isn't actually the money. So often as humans, we see it, and I can even get caught up in it. We see the miracle as being the money. But if you go back to the illustration that we've talked about in Scripture numerous times throughout this summer, heading toward this moment, about the loaves and fishes that the young lad had in Scripture to give to Jesus that He multiplied, the miracle wasn't the loaves and fishes. The miracle was what God did with the loaves and fishes. The pledges that we made on Sunday, I don't believe is the actual miracle. That's our loaves and fishes. But what God is about to do is the miracle with our loaves and fishes. And the other reality is this: we do have a very real and realistic window, albeit short, of time to strengthen our position. We are already in a very strong position, significantly better off than we were before we headed into Pledge Sunday, but we do have a very short window to continue to strengthen our position. And that's the true reality of where we sit right now. So what's next for North City Church as it pertains to our Homebase Initiative? This coming Sunday, September 28th, in response to the feedback that we've received this week from Pledge Sunday, in response to the miraculous expression that was given this past week, and what we've learned from our leadership team and our district, we believe the Lord has kept this door open. And we want to make sure we do the realistic and responsible thing to do whatever we can to maximize the opportunity the Lord has put in front of us. We believe it's a responsible thing for us as leaders, that it's wise and diligent to offer a second opportunity, not just one day, but maybe a short window of ongoing opportunity for our church family to participate both in beginning to pledging in their pledges or to adjust their pledges in some fashion as we move forward. And so our staff is going to come and they're going to share with you in conclusion about the details that are going to happen this weekend so that you can be prepared and adequately ready to engage in maybe a second opportunity for all of us to see what God may still have in store.
Okay, so this Sunday, September 28th, our morning service will be at regular time, both online and in person, but it will be shortened a little bit. At the end of the service, for those in person only, we will have a 30-minute session for our church family to hear from our leadership team. They will be answering some of the questions that have come up this week, and they'll be presenting some of the options we have moving forward. They'll provide clarity, they'll answer some questions, and they'll provide a path forward for us that is very much within our reach. After that, we'll host a lunch for everyone who has registered, then we'll have the meeting, and then we'll have the official partners vote.
To be part of the meeting, you must register online. Anyone who has registered can attend the meeting, and there will be a time for you to ask your questions, but you must register first.
Well, to vote, you have to register in advance, and you need to be an official partner of North City Church. Voting will happen on that day. Be sure to check your emails for all of the official voting language that will be coming out, and you can be partnering with us in prayer in advance to Sunday.
And to have lunch provided for you, we need you to register. If you have registered for lunch, it will be provided for you in the lobby after service. Lunch is coming from Subway sandwiches, and on your registration page, you will be able to indicate which sandwich you would like.
Parents, kids need to be registered as well. If they are staying at the school for the meeting and lunch, please have them registered and they will be able to have lunch with you.
That's right. Parents, as soon as service ends, please come get your children at the library and then bring them with you, get your lunch, have lunch as a family. And once lunch is completed, you can bring them to the gym. There will be volunteers there available for childcare.
So those are the details for Sunday. We are so excited for what God is doing in our community through North City Church. We're trusting Him every single step of the way, and we're looking forward to what He has in store. See you Sunday.
Connect and serve Jesus!